Stocks, bonds, ETFs, straight out of downtown Chicago. This is Zach's Market Edge.
Welcome to Zach's Market Edge, the podcast about investing in your life. I'm your host, Tracey Ryniec, and today I'm joined by Maddy Johnson. She's Zach's stock news reporter, so she's covering all the latest and interesting things going on in stock news. But today we're going to discuss a topic that's near and dear to both of our hearts, and that's women's favorite retailers. There's quite a new phenomenon in retail right now. It seems there's like two tracks. There's one that's this rise of the women's athletic wear, or some people call it yoga wear or leisure wear. There's a whole bunch of names for it. But it's essentially the yoga pant or the sweatpant kind of look. And that is become fashionable, not just for working out, but to wear in every day. And it's kind of supplanting jeans and denim. That's really been hot. And then a second area of popularity is really in accessories. And that would be like makeup and hair care, sunglasses, jewelry, those kinds of things. That's kind of, I always put those items in like an affordable, well, fairly affordable way to update your look for on the cheap, kind of with shoes too, but we'll cover shoes another time. But those two areas for women seem to be the places that are hot. It's not in clothing, other kinds of clothing. It's in these two areas. And I know a lot of investors are kind of confused by what is going good with women. They are lumping in all retail and saying it's all bad, but it's not. And so Maddy and I are here to straighten everybody out about who's doing well and which of these retailers you should be investing in. So welcome, Maddy. It's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
I just want to also let everyone know that you are a millennial.
I am.
So you come with that perspective. I'm a Generation X. So, different retailers approach and look for different markets. Mm-hmm. So this will be good because we'll get two perspectives here. But I know you and I have already been discussing this whole athletic wear thing. And obviously the big kahuna in the room with that is Lululemon. This market is really huge. People think, it's Lulu or it's nothing. But I was looking up some stats and I found that through last year, activewear sales, and that includes like every kind of workout clothes, I think, but this is for men and women, was a $37 billion industry, which is big. Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
And some of the big players outside of the specialty retailers like Lulu, so Nike and Under Armour, are launching real specific strategies to try to increase their business with women. And Nike has basically said last year that it's women's business. Again, this is like across all of their lines. So it's not just the clothing you wear, but it's also all of their workout clothes and, their real sports specific stuff. But that was growing at 20% year over year. Men's were only growing at 9%. They had about 5.7 billion in sales. They expect to grow that to 11 billion in 5 years. So that's nearly double in just 5 years. And Under Armour said that about 30% of its overall business is women. And then I noticed that they just hired Giselle, I guess, to be one of their spokesperson for a whole bunch of their active wear. So no, they're not messing around here. So what does this mean? What do you think about Lululemon? There's a lot of competition. They were basically the inventors of the yoga pant. They had the super hot yoga pant. They had a meltdown with the yoga pant. The stock went into the bad scene. They fired the CEO. He left. He still owns a portion of the company, however, the founder. They have new management. But is the Lululemon brand still the prestige? Is this still where you go?
Yes. I think despite the controversy with its management and with its even some of its product being see-through or whatever, women and men, I think even a growing portion of men, want to go to Lululemon because they see it as the it place for yoga wear and athletic wear. And I think Lululemon really prides itself on being not only studio and yoga workout wear, but bringing that workout wear to the street. So from studio to street, It's you can wear it anywhere at any time, and it's fashionable. And the price point is expensive,
Right.
but it
what about
doesn't
that?
matter. People will shell out $100 a pop for basic black leggings because it is from Lululemon. It has a little symbol.
Right. I've seen the symbol everywhere.
yeah.
It's like that upside down horseshoe thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means something. It's covetable, and that's what a lot of people care about.
Yeah. So you're still going for the brand with Lulu.
Still going for the brand, yeah.
Okay. So what to make of what I consider its main competitor? Now I'm not sure I can pronounce it right. I was calling it Athleta all this time, but it's Athleta.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty
Why
sure
can't
it's
I say
Athleta.
that? Athleta. Okay. Well, in my mind, I'm going to call it Athleta, but it's not really that. But this is owned by Gap. A lot of people aren't aware of this brand,
Right.
because it's one of their smaller brands. They had 118 stores only at the end of the third quarter, but they do sell online. I've noticed they've been expanding mainly in the major cities first. And kind of upscale, but not quite as upscale as Lululemon. But here in Chicago, I've noticed that these stores are basically either in or opening in the same exact neighborhood as Lululemon. So they're clearly competitors. Again, owned by Gap, but Gap has not been performing well with its other brands. They, their earnings are expected to fall this year about 14%. Banana Republic has really struggled. Even Old Navy, which was on their lower end, did not have a good holiday season. We don't really know what this brand does because they don't bust out the numbers. I always get kind of mad whenever I listen in on their conference call or I read their press release because the brand has always been so small. They're like, oh, it's doing fine, but they don't really tell us. All they tell us is how many stores they're opening. Well, that's good, but it's over $1 billion brand now. So I kind of want to know what the same store sales are.
Right.
I feel like soon, because they keep expanding it, they will be telling us. I just heard that they're going to start an Athleta Girls, which is 6 to 14-year-olds. That's their target. It's going to be on running, swim, soccer, basketball, and then general lifestyle. It'll be sold online and in select stores this summer. What do you think of this? Now they're expanding it. What do you think of this brand?
I love this brand personally.
Me too.
I have a few pieces from Lululemon, but most of my workout wardrobe is Athleta. They have a slightly lower price point, so it's not as like gut-wrenching when you swipe your card. And so it's like, even though it is still expensive, but I mean, same quality, $10 to $20 cheaper. I can't pass that up. And even in last year alone, Athleta opened 2 more stores in Chicago, one on Oak Street and then one on Weed Street, which is near like the North and Clybourne Shopping Center, including in addition to their one store on Southport. So I think it's rapidly expanding, and I think that Athleta is like the biggest rival for Lululemon.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too, because I actually shop a lot there as well, because it does matter to me that, some of their items are, like you said, $10 to $20 cheaper, but it matters. So I'm getting the pants at $70 instead of $100, and I will buy more.
Yeah, me too.
And they've been spot on with the fashions. Every couple months, it seems they're spot on, and they send out cute catalogs. They always are targeting me with the catalogs. Actually, I've never gotten a Lulu catalog. Do they even send catalogs out?
I don't think so, because I've never
maybe
gotten
is the
one
difference.
too. I know I have to give my email address when I check out.
Okay. Maybe they all do it just online.
Yeah.
Now, I have noticed with Athleta, unlike its other brands at Gap, they almost never discount anything. I saw a few 20% discounts over the holiday season, and I was even surprised, like, maybe I should buy something. It's 20% off. So that worked on me.
Yeah.
But usually, other than getting rid of merchandise at the end of a season, you don't really see much going on sale there, which I feel is showing how strong they are.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at their online store when they were promoting their 20% off semi-annual sale. Bought a few things, but they're one of the few places that I will go in and shell out a lot of money for full price things to sweat in.
Exactly.
The clothes I buy, I just ruin with sweat, but I keep buying them.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, this is owned by Gap, so that's the only negative here because the rest of the company is struggling. But the shares are pretty cheap. They're trading at about 9 times forward earnings. So if you're looking for one of the companies in this area that's, maybe on sale, you're going to get everything else along with it. You might not want everything else, but I would consider buying Gap just for this brand. That's how much I like this brand. Yeah. So, and I don't own Lulu. I don't own Gap yet, but I have watched the shares because I feel like if they get cheap enough, I will be interested just for Athleta.
And it seems that, hopefully Gap will make a comeback. It's such an iconic brand that you're kind of rooting for it. Old Navy, that's just like a standard for them.
Right.
They'll probably do well no matter what. And then Banana Republic is...
We've talked about them. They've just been off on the trend. So bad.
And when they hired their latest creative director, Marissa Webb, back in 2014, it was a big deal. She was going to, take the brand out of this rut that they were in. She wanted to transform the brand as like something other than the store that your mom goes to buy business clothes. Like you wanted it to be hip, you wanted it to be cool. And her stuff was, but she just didn't consider the customer.
Right.
It was so off-putting and nothing fit.
Right.
And
so that's what happened with me because I am a Banana customer and I just couldn't wear those clothes. I haven't bought anything in at least a year, maybe more. Yeah. So, but I've heard the spring collection is supposed to be pretty good over there. So we'll see.
It's quite cute. I did peek in the store the other day.
Okay, maybe I'll have to check that out.
It looks promising, but
it's so hard being a retailer because it does just go so much by these trends.
Yeah.
But at least with Gap, you are getting these 4 fairly strong brands, but they have their ups and downs. Right now they're in a down, but that is a good time to buy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, but not completely, to L Brands. Now, people might not know the name, like what is L Brands, but they own Victoria's Secret, which also owns the Pink line, and then Bath and Body Works, which I always just kind of dismiss. Oh, Bath and Body Works, who cares?
It's the one store I pop into in the airport.
Well, right, yes, or it's in the mall,
Yes.
And you kind of go in there, or I don't know, you find them in weird places, and you're like, oh, I need some hand soap today, and you go in there. You do buy something, though. But I was surprised to see that in December, the Bath and Body Works division had a 6% same-store sales growth, which is pretty good. So apparently a lot of other people were buying, various hand soaps and lotions and things. But their Victoria's Secret brand comps were up 8%. I guess some of that had to do with their semi-annual sale that they usually have in January. They pulled it forward a little bit because they were nervous about the holiday season into December. So some of those sales were pulled forward. But what is really exciting about L Brands is not really the core Victoria's Secret line that has still selling well, the basic lingerie, but is really this Pink division.
Right.
And I know a lot of people don't understand what Pink is. So you should tell us, what is it?
Pink is like this more casual line of Victoria's Secret, kind of catered to the younger woman. I would say, 12 to 13 to 18-ish. It really depends. But they have this little dog logo that's quite popular. And the pink the pink brand is just splattered on everything.
Yeah,
but
I noticed that.
But that's a good thing because the buyers of that brand, they want that. They want people to know that, hey, my sweatshirt is pink and that's awesome.
So it sounds like it's kind of the Lulu of the younger set.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
with the branding.
The brand is covetable. It's something that to be admired.
Now, what do they actually sell? Is this like...
They sell lingerie, but not as fancy risque as the Victoria's Secret. It's a little bit more toned down.
It's a lot of like sweatshirts and stuff,
They have a lot of
isn't it?
sweatshirts and yoga pants. They're kind of getting into more and more the athletic workout wear.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, and also... sport,
they have some sports stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed, my niece is 13 and she loves this brand and she's loved it for a couple of years. So I knew that was one of the target audiences there, but they almost never have sales. They're another one. And I feel like that, again, is a show of strength. They don't need to mark down the items because you're going to buy full price.
Yeah.
And that is what's happening. So L Brands, a little more pricey here, though. They trade with a forward PE of 24, so they're not cheap. They are going to grow earnings in 2016, expected to about 10%, for a retailer in this kind of more difficult retail environment. That's good. And then they did have the good holiday season, so we'll kind of see going forward with them. But they've been knocking it out of the park compared to a lot of other retailers. But they're on the hot trend, as we said. Okay, so another area that we both love is Ulta, which is a beauty. What would you call them? Beauty supply, like retailer. I guess is that what you call it?
Yeah, like I think of it as like the beauty department of a Walgreens on steroids,
Right. Or CVS.
Or CVS,
Either one of those,
yeah.
like a drugstore. Yeah.
It's just magnified, and there's so much more to
Now,
it.
they do have salons in some of the stores, too, where they do hair. And then they do have some other, like eyebrow bars and other
yes, yeah.
direct things where you can get facials and stuff depending on the store. So you have to look around. But what's unique about Ulta, I feel, is that it's mainly in shopping malls. And it's not as concentrated in the large cities as other things might be. I was actually talking to a financial reporter based in Manhattan. It was a man. So he can be forgiven for not knowing what Ulta was, just in general. But I mentioned Ulta, this is like a year ago, and he didn't know what it was.
Interesting.
And I'm like, what? How can you not know Ulta? But I looked up online to see where their stores were located. He was in Manhattan, and they don't have any in Manhattan. So not only was he a guy, but he was also living in a place where there aren't any. So I could see why would you, what is this company? Why would you care? And they are a lot more in the suburban areas. Well, though Chicago has some in its downtown, but the company is headquartered in the Chicago suburbs. So I feel like they give us a little more love than maybe some other places. But the store, what is it about it that makes it so popular? You compared it to a Walgreens beauty department, or I said CVS. Why would I go to Ulta versus one of those?
Well, really, you can get anything beauty related that you need. So if you have a shopping list growing, ranging from makeup to hair products to hair styling tools to anything that you would normally go to a pharmacy, you could go to an Ulta and they have a great rewards program.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I think it's really the rewards program that always drives me to the store, because it's not just a normal, you get a few points here. Like you get some good deals as you rack up those points. So I feel like I'm motivated because their reward program actually rewards me to buy like everything that I would buy at a Walgreens or a CVS. I wait to buy it at the Ulta because I know I can accumulate more there. So instead of buying my normal shampoo at the Walgreens, I will buy it at the Ulta. Instead of buying, I don't know, toothpaste, I think they carry at the Ulta now, at least some of the brands, I'll buy it at the Ulta. Like these weird little things, it does drive me to buy over there.
And their brand selection, I think, is getting better and better. They're carrying, with like hair products, salon quality hair products that you don't have to trek all the way to your hair salon. You can just go to your local Ulta and get really nice hair products. And then their makeup selection's getting better. They have a lot of department brand names, like department brand staples that you don't have to kind of
that would be like
Clinique and Lancome.
Yeah.
I know they carry Benefit. Really, really nice stuff that it's awesome to get there.
Who do you think is their main competitor? I mean, we mentioned the drugstore chains. Obviously, that is somewhat the department stores. And then there's Sephora that's out there.
Sephora.
But I always feel like Sephora it's like a Lulu Athleta comparison.
No,
it's one step up. It's a lot. They carry a lot pricier brands. So if I'm looking for a little bit cheaper price point, I go to Ulta.
Right.
So that's the cheaper one. They have 860 stores in the United States. Like I said, none in Manhattan. So someone there should start like a thing like, hey, we want this. I think they have one in Queens. They have a few in the outer boroughs, but you'd have to.
And I bet Sephora has just overtaken Manhattan.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. So they have a lot of competition there. But, they don't in middle America and in like smaller, not real small towns, I've noticed they don't go into, but they're slowly expanding, and I know they have a strategy for over 1,000 stores, and they're getting closer every quarter to getting to that level. But let's talk about the e-commerce side of this company, because I've had a lot of people ask me on StockTwits how can they compete? Who cares about brick and mortar? why do women still go into Ulta? They have seen an increase in sales on their website, and they've redesigned that, and it's a pretty nice website now, and you can order all your products there. But it's still a fairly small percentage. This last quarter, their same-store sales were up 12.8%, and the online was maybe about 2% of that. So why can Ulta succeed by opening up the stores, having the website, and why isn't the web destroying them? Is it really just the rewards program again?
Well, I think when you go into an Ulta or a Sephora, you can sit down with a real person and be like, I need a whole new set of makeup, help me out. And they will sit with you from like 45 minutes to an hour and just run down with everything that you need. And you get to test it out, all the products out. So that's, I think, one of the reasons driving in brick and mortar store sales versus online.
I think women shoppers, for some things like the makeup and all that, we do want to go into the stores.
You want to test it out. It's fun. You want to get a makeover. It's easygoing. It's not stressful, unlike other shopping trips.
Right. It is fun to go in there.
Yeah.
That's the doom of it, though. I always end up buying more than I need.
Too much, yeah.
I'm sure Ulta's listening to this. Like, you go in like, oh, I just need like a shampoo and something else, and you come out with like 5 items.
Yes.
So it's good for them. That is why they've been doing so well. Like I said, same-store sales crushed it for their third quarter, up 12.8%. Almost no retailers doing these kinds of numbers. It won't last forever because they're only going to grow so fast. Mm-hmm. But for right now, and certainly at this price point, even if the economy starts to show signs of, not being quite as strong, women, we still will buy these products, and these are at the lower price point. So it's a real good way to still kind of improve your look or whatever with, not having to spend a lot of money. So, okay, I think we've covered a whole bunch of interesting companies here today. And, I always try to emphasize to everyone who's asking me these questions online, like, how can all these companies exist, side by side? How can they all be doing well? And that's because this is a big market. It's a big market for the makeup with Ulta's in. It's a big market for this yoga wear and all of that. And so there's room for many players. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. It's growing and growing and growing, and I really don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. So I think it's just going to keep increasing in popularity, because who doesn't want to wear yoga pants every day? It's comfortable.
Do you think it's really going to replace denim? A lot of people are worried. I mean, denim sales are already down, but do you think it's really are we going to be wearing like yoga pants on Fridays to the office?
I mean, yoga pants, maybe not to the office, but
I'd be kind of scared to see all the guys coming in the yoga pants. I don't know about that one. But we've already seen sweatshirts and some things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I won't name any names. But, so we're already kind of seeing, it's the relaxation and that whole kind of casual wear.
Well, think of jeggings.
Oh, yeah.
The jeans are basically leggings. They have enough spandex in them to count as leggings.
Right. Okay, these are some good trends that we're going to watch. Thanks for sharing your insights here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Shopping. Yes, this is a lot of fun. We'll have to do another update, and I'm sure there's some other areas we need to cover on shopping. This is just 2 of the big trends. And just to kind of recap the companies that we mentioned, there's Lulu, of course. Its ticker is LULU. We did mention Nike and Under Armour. We've talked about them a couple times on the podcast. That must mean something because they're hot. But Nike's ticker NKE and Under Armour is UA. Athleta. I keep having to pause while I say that one because I'm so used to saying Athleta. I didn't know it was wrong, but it's Athleta apparently. That is owned by The Gap, and their ticker is GPS. And then we have L Brands. Their ticker is LB. It's kind of a weird one, but easy to remember once you hear it a couple times. And then we had Ulta, and its ticker is just Ulta, ULTA. And for Tracey, this is this week's episode of Zach's Market Edge. And remember, you can always get all of our older shows of the podcast. You can listen to some of those where we do cover some of these same companies. You can find that on iTunes or on SoundCloud. You can see all of the Zach's Market Edge podcasts there. And you can also see any of our articles on Zacks.com because we both write regularly for the website, and you can go check out our views on any of these lovely companies and whatever else we have going on Zacks.com. So for this week, thank you, Maddy, and we'll see you again next week for more Zacks Market Edge.